Let's go project!
Can you see the girl?
Yeah? I doubted the girl would be able to see Sachi-san, but she stayed back there with me on the stairs. Maybe to keep me company. I was a little disturbed by Sachi-san's transparent body slightly overlapping with my own, though.
Can you tell what she's trying to do?
Huh? What is she doing? She'd stayed out of the classroom the whole time we've been watching her, merely glancing inside every so often. Maybe she has some business with an upperclassman inside. If that's it, she should just go on in.
Can you see what she has in her hand?
Huh? Her hand? I can't really tell. Now that she mentioned it, it did look like the girl was clutching something to her chest, as if she held some precious object. I couldn't tell what it was from a distance, but it wasn't her bag, it was smaller.
It's a letter.
A letter? It did sort of look like a letter now. A letter? A first-year student holding a letter in her hands after school, petrified before a classroom door? Could it be?
That's right. She wants to give one of the girls in that class a letter she wrote. And you don't need me to point out what sort of letter it is, do you?
You mean a love letter?
Right. But the girl's classmates are in the room right now, so she's been stuck this whole time, blocked from sneaking inside. The girl to whom she wants to deliver the letter to isn't inside right now, so she must intend to put it in the girl's bag or desk, but she can't go inside with those other girls still in there. Say, Yuna-san?
Huh? Yeah?
How long do you think she's been here like this?
How long has it been since classes ended today? 30 minutes or so?
Not quite. She's been doing this ever since the Monday of the week before last. Every day after school, just like this.
Huh? 2 weeks? That long?
Yes. She doesn't have the courage to present her letter directly, so she's been waiting for the chance to leave it here this whole time. Say, Yuna-san.
Yes?
Don't you think it took an awful lot of courage just to write this letter? And more than that, she's been waiting here every day. What courage do you think she'd be able to muster if she were able to leave that letter there? I want to give girls like this the little push they need. I want to help them. When I see how serious she looks, I'm frustrated with myself for being unable to help her.
She's right. If the classroom were empty, that girl would probably find the courage to go inside. If it were empty, the reason she's been waiting outside is because of the people hanging out in there for 2 whole weeks now.
Listen, Miss Shelley. The rules state that every worker receives a bottle in the morning and another at lunch break.
He is totally disinterested in my explanation. He barely looks up from his desk as he talks to me. I have to make him willing to help me somehow. I suck in a chest full of air and prepare to use the cutest voice I can muster. As far as I can tell from Maison, that means I have to just about squeal my request. Please, please, please give me another bottle of mana! Pretty please. The expression on Mr. Nailton's face doesn't change in the slightest. Well, that was totally embarrassing for me.
Like I said, Miss Shelley, I can't give you another potion because that's against the rules. What did you say happened to the ones you had again?
I drank the potion as soon as I got it in the morning, but lost the one from lunch break. I remember putting it beside the furnace, but I can't find it now.
Why didn't you drink it right away?
Well, I was...
Wait.
Mr. Nailton's eyes widen. He leans forward and lowers his voice.
Do you think someone took it?
No, I wouldn't think that. Mr. Nailton straightens his posture again and crosses his arms.
So where's your potion?
Ugh! He really doesn't want to give me that bottle of mana, does he? Stingy, cheapo. If it has to come to this, then I have no choice but to play my trump card. You should never underestimate a girl in desperation, Mr. Nailton. I bow down my head and stare at my feet. I'm sorry, Mr. Nailton. I pause for a few seconds after speaking in a shaky voice. My boss's face is starting to soften up. He can sense that something's about to happen. At least, that's what I imagine his face is doing. I can't actually see it because I'm still looking down at the floor. When I look up again, I make the most doleful look I can. I stare right into his eyes, my eyelids glistening and my pupils dilated with longing, eyebrows raised and tilted to the forehead, my lips half open as if about to let some words out but lacking courage to do so, and my cheeks pink in shame. Okay, I can't actually look at my own cheeks, and as far as I know, I have never once blushed in my life, but pink is how I visualize them. I promise I'll work really hard today! Please! My boss gapes at me, and almost in disbelief. At last, he lowers and shakes his head with his eyes closed.
Fine. But only this time, you hear?
And still, I continued to sleep. And then I waited. I waited for inspiration to fall from the heavens. But it wasn't inspiration that fell from the sky. Huh? I couldn't help but jump to my feet at the sound that shattered the silence. Looking around, I noticed a pile of garbage off to the side had taken an unusual shape. Did something fall down over there? Something from above? But what? Did someone throw out a mattress or something? I cautiously reached out toward the unusually shaped pile of garbage.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm no mattress.
Along with the voice, something else appeared from within the mountain of trash. It was her.
The smell is just awful.
Kiri?
You look better than I expected.
Why are you here?
Why else? I came to get you out of here.
I really appreciate that, but, your head, she looked away, expressionless, and brushed the ramen cup off her head, then turned back to face me.
What do you think you're doing?
Without warning, a man appears from out of the shadows. Dressed in black with a dour expression, the person in question is very intimidating. But that sense of intimidation is immediately replaced with extreme discomfort and unease. A sudden, overwhelming sense of danger gives me goosebumps all over my body. His cold, blank stare sends chills down my spine, as though he's marking me for death. For some reason, it feels as if he is deciding whether to break my neck or skin me alive.
Odd. Your name doesn't seem to appear on the list, but I had better make sure.
He begins to mutter under his
really
breath
off
while
about
at the
this.
same time he reaches out with his right hand. The chills running down my spine gain intensity as waves of nausea and vertigo wash over me. I feel like a rabbit watching the wolf draw near. Maybe this isn't just raw terror. I think he's holding something that's making me feel this way.
You're not even trying to fight. My instincts aren't as sharp as they should be. I need to rest.
The note of disgust in his voice is obvious as he slowly lowers his hand. The paralysis that seemed to take hold of me suddenly fades away. The man continues to look down on me with those dead eyes of his.
Students are forbidden from entering the supply room. You do well to remember that. Campus is about to close. If you have nothing else to do, I advise you to go home now. Is there anything else? My name is Mr. Kuzuki. I will be teaching here starting today.
The man who introduces himself as Mr. Kuzuki turns and heads back into the supply room. With that, the final bell begins to chime, signaling the end of the school day. Everything begins to progress as normal, as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened. But I'm still sore and slicked with sweat, an all too real reminder of what had happened. Wonderful! We now have a teacher with obvious murderous intent teaching at our school.
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! What was that? What the hell was that?
Hey, wasn't that?
Yeah! No doubt about it, dude!
Alter ego!
Alter ego! No way! Did he print a virus? Had to have been when he broke into the school network. Damn it! That little pile of scrap!
Seems like you've had a wrench thrown into your plans. An entire toolbox, more like.
What was that?
I'm saying you didn't give us nearly enough credit.
What are you getting so high and mighty over? You think you've won? You haven't done any damage. Not even a scratch. Full HP. And that's the end for that stupid virus. Same for Naegi, too. So I didn't get to make Naegi pancakes to go with my wad of butter. But it's not like he'll be back. He's just gonna wither away underground with all the trash. In a way, that's the worst punishment. Boo, 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 boo. That's not enough. I still haven't had enough. I still have gobs of despair for you guys. I still have oodles of despair for the whole world. Oh, boo, boo, 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 oh, boo, boo. Oh, boo, 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 boo. Oh, boo, 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 boo.
Wait, did you guys just kill our boss? Oh, why does this always happen? No, I have to do this for my friends, for mankind. I made a huge mistake. Pick a god and pray. Ow! Maybe I can still win this. No, I can't. I am literally about to die.
Kent, I'm coming!
Okay, now you guys are just bullying me.
You shall regret this!
The sweet embrace of death.
Oh, gracious, that gave me a rush. Well, boys, a job well done, if I do say so myself.
But I'm surprised, Hisao. You're in here instead of up there. What brings you to the library?
Well, Emmy's ill, so there's no lunch on the rooftop to keep me occupied. Lily raises an eyebrow at my statement before giving another chuckle.
My, well, poor Rin must feel left out.
It's not like that.
But I'm sure it isn't. Emmy tends to be the life of whatever group she's in. It's a shame to hear she's fallen ill. Will she be okay?
Somehow I get the feeling that Lily's just inquiring out of politeness, but I respond anyway. The nurse thinks so. I'm gonna swing by and see how she's doing after school myself. Another raised eyebrow.
My, what a noble gentleman you are, Hisao.
It's nothing, really. I'm just checking up on a friend after all.
Ah, so it's just friends, is it? How disappointing.
I blush, glad that Lily can't see it. But somehow she knows I've been flustered by her comment anyway and laughs.
I'm sorry, Hisao. I'm teasing you again. Please do tell Emmy that I hope she feels better, won't you?
A glance at my watch reveals that I'm very nearly out of time to find my book. Of course. Hey, I've got to find a book before lunch is over, so I'd better get moving. See you later. That was probably not the best phrase to use. Lily, however, takes my gaffe in stride.
Until we meet again, Hisao.
Oh my.
A door opens in front of me. The young, naked, screaming woman from before comes out of the room. Now, though, she isn't naked and she isn't screaming. It's a nice change of pace for her.
Oh, hey, Lise.
Hi. Where did the man go?
Oh, he had to leave through the window because the Dementors were coming for him.
The who?
It's part of our roleplay. Never mind.
I'm also wondering how she emerged from a room on the second floor when I last saw her running across the lobby. But no, I won't ask. She leans on the wall. Looking up at the ceiling, she mutters something with a sigh. She looks exhausted.
Sleeping with that geezer is one thing, but being chased around the house naked is really taking a toll on me. You have no idea how easy it is to slip on these floors if you're not wearing any shoes.
Why do you keep servicing him then? With her head still turned up, she glances at me and answers matter-of-factly.
Because his tip is bigger than his cock?
Uh-huh. I look down and notice that her dress is torn. Blood is dripping from a small cut on her skin. Oh, you're bleeding.
Yeah, he got a little aggressive back there.
I bring my right hand to her wound. A small benefit of working at the factory is that I get to drink mana potions every day. Most of it is spent by the end of the work shift, but sometimes I get to go home with a little mana remaining in my body. Today is one of those days. I focus on compassion while my last bit of mana starts accumulating in my hand. Transform.
Oh, hey, Giri. There was something I wanted to ask you. You're the super duper high school sleuth, right? How long have you been a detective?
How long? I've always been one. Ever since I was a child. Since the old days when detective work was considered far more venerable than it is today. The Kirigiri family has made its livelihood as detectives.
Then your family's pretty famous, isn't it?
Actually, quite the opposite. We're relatively unknown, even amongst others in the same line of work.
Huh? But why? If you got such a strong family tradition...
We pride ourselves in it.
Pride?
Detectives represent neither light nor dark. It is precisely because we are neither good nor evil that we are able to find the one truth. We are obligated to maintain neutrality, so for that reason we must separate ourselves from the world. Thus, we deliberately kept our existence hidden away.
You keep hidden?
It's an obsolete, old-fashioned, illogical way of thinking. But despite that, we still abide by it. After all, it is our pride.
Pride. I think I get it. The reason I couldn't find anything about her in the new students at Hope's Peak Academy thread was because she kept that information hidden to uphold her family's pride.
But I trampled on that pride.
This school has always had girls like the one yesterday, with feelings hidden in their hearts. There were so many girls who graduated with those desires still locked away, lacking that little bit of courage or any small chance to act on them. If we can help their feelings reach the girls they care about, no matter the result, I think they'll cherish the memories forever. Megumi and I have always wanted to help those girls. Yuna-san, I wanted this school to be somewhere those girls' feelings wouldn't have to wither.
Uh-huh. Well, that sounds reasonable, and I'm sure she really feels that way. It's not a bad thing to want. Not at all. But Why does it have to be romance between girls? Though I suppose that's inevitable, considering the circumstances that led to these two becoming ghosts.
Let's nurture more wonderful couples here.
We can do this, Yuna!
Now, which girl should we help first?
Well, there's the one from yesterday.
Right, but we should wait and see before helping her again. It will depend on how the other girl feels when she reads the letter.
But you discovered her, Sachi-san. I'm sure it'll work out.
Let's hope so.
Oh, I know. We can help those girls you found a little while ago, Sachi-san.
Oh, the group of 3?
Wow, are there more girls like these two here? How are they finding them anyway? I don't get this stuff at all. Girl-girl romances or these two ghosts. But, well, one thing at a time.
Huh? What? Did you say something?
No, just talking to myself.
Then let's do our best. Together, we can make this school a paradise for young women in love. A Eurytopia.
Sachi-san, you're so cool!
Wow, she liked that, huh?
Starting today, we'll work even harder, Megumi, for our Eurytopia.
Yes, Sachi-san, for our Eurytopia!
Thank you for your help, Yuna-san.
Sure. Maybe I was a little hasty. So I thought, but the two ghosts were already celebrating in front of me.
Eurytopia!
Eurytopia!
I didn't know what to say.
It was only while we were on our way back to the car that I realized something. You didn't get anything.
On the contrary, I got what I wanted.
What are you talking about? You wanted to come to town, but we spent the entire day doing what I wanted to do. I'm sorry.
Don't be. All I wanted was to get away from the mansion for a bit. Spending the day with you was just icing.
What? Did... The sword. It's glowing.
It's the power of the spirits. Lin, they have looked into your soul, and they call out to you.
What does that mean?
You are its rightful owner. You are to wield the Manikante.
No, I can't. I couldn't.
It is the sword's wish. If you require proof, draw it from its sheath.
It came out effortlessly.
I never dared to hope that I might meet the wielder of the Manikante in my life. I am indeed fortunate to see your sword reach your hands.
My sword?
It is time for you to go, Lin. You face a great many ordeals. Grip this sword and meet your destiny head on.
Yes. Yes, sir!
You got the Manikante!
Yeah, Eva's the one who requested it.
Did you find out why he wanted to go to the moon?
Sure.
And? What all happened here?
Let's just say it was a bunch of sappy cheese that sorted itself out.
You know, there were quite a few times last night when I thought we lost Johnny. I think he consciously held on to wait for you two.
He's rather patient, then.
I just hope it's worth the wait. Go on now. Your colleague's waiting.
I thought this might be a good view.
Good enough to cut off traffic, eh?
Sure, even if they were real. Well, this is it. All we've worked for. Ready to initiate it? Come up here.
Why?
Why not?
You're just gonna push me off the ledge again, aren't you?
Probably. But the view's worth the odds. Come on.
Slowly, they made their way back to the hallway. At last, they reached the stairs, and Junpei spoke.
Alright, I'm thinking we should probably split up. I'll head back to the stairs, and take the elevator down to E deck. June, you can take the stairs up to B deck.
Alright, that sounds good. But,
What?
could you stop calling me by that code name when we're alone?
Huh? Oh, sure, right. I'll do that.
There was a reason Junpei persisted in calling her June even when they were alone. Although, perhaps not the best reason. He was embarrassed to call her by the nickname he'd used when they were children. Connie. 9 years ago, it came naturally. After all, they were children. But now that they were adults, it felt strange. Regardless of what he might hope for, to call a woman he wasn't dating by such a childish nickname felt odd to him. Of course, to call her Miss Kurashiki would be even more awkward, and simply Kurashiki would seem a little brusque. And although he couldn't put his finger on why, it felt somewhat forward to call her Akane when they hadn't seen one another for so long. In short, it was simply easier for him to call her June and leave it at that.
Alright, I'm going then.
Yeah, be careful. Connie.
June, or perhaps more appropriately Connie, blushed and smiled.
You be careful too, Jumpy.
Yeah, got it. Take care.
Junpei looked after her for a moment as she ran up the stairs, and turned around and took off for the hallway.
I looked it over and found on the packaging brown sugar lotus root lozenge. Well, she did say it was tasty. The fact that there's more to it than taste is just like Ano, I suppose. I would understand if it was supposed to be flavored with the fragrance of lotus, but why put lotus root in it? And a lozenge? I haven't heard anything about lotus root being good for the throat. Well, it's probably sweet at least. I took it out of the wrapping to find it was an inky black. Rolling it around in my hand for a moment, I tossed it into my mouth.
You fool! What drives you to such lengths?
Huh? I almost swallowed the thing. I was so surprised by the voices suddenly at my ear.
What were you thinking? Taking poison on such a nice sunny day?
You mustn't hurry to your death. Surely you have many things to look forward to.
What? What? I heard voices from behind me. Who were they? I could hear two of them. When did they get back there?
Something awful must have happened to you. But you can't just toss aside your life like that.
What sort of awful thing happened to you, I wonder? To make you swallow such a dark black poison.
No, seriously, what? Poison? What I just swallowed? No, wait a second.
Poison! It must be a terrible way to go. Feeling sick, but unable to cough up the toxin.
If you have troubles, I'd gladly listen to them. And if that eases your burden at all, please, rethink this.
Then your body starts to numb, and you fall to the floor. And everything goes dark before your eyes.
What are you worried about? Is it love? It must be. You've fallen in love with some girl, haven't you? It must be so painful not knowing what to do.
No, this is just canned, I said, turning around. D.
Oi, look!
It's an aristocrat.
Though there are people murmuring all around, this comment was said loud enough for me to hear. It was intentional. I stop and turn. The man who just spoke is dressed somewhat differently from the others. I wouldn't say he's dressed better than anyone else, but somehow he stands out. He's wearing a uniform of some kind. Another man in similar outfit stands beside him, watching me. The two men come nearer to me. The man speaks again.
Oi, kid, what are you doing in this place? Are you lost?
I look down at the man. Who is he to question me?
A gutsy bourgeois. Hasn't anyone ever told you not to wander into prose areas? Haven't you ever heard of Libertad? They don't like bourgeoisie like you.
Rolls? I see. Of course. So this is where the proletariat lives. No wonder there is no magic. It's not that they can't use magic. They just don't have the money to buy mana potions. Everyone knows that the proles are the dregs of society. But he mentioned something called Libertad. I have not heard of that group. He said Libertad hates people like me. Are you Libertad? This time they're the ones who stay quiet. But I can tell that the answer is yes. So, they hate me? Well then, I'll hate them too. I start infusing willpower to the mana in my body and expel as much magical aura as the mana generates. All of a sudden, I'm the brightest thing on the street. Let that be a warning for them. The man who talked to me seems ready to fight, but the other Libertad member speaks to him in a low voice.
Not here. There are people everywhere.
Heeding his friend's words, the first man relaxes his posture, though his glare remains fierce.
Right, understood.
He walks away, clicking his tongue.
Hey, is that Shinji and Sakura?
Hey, Sakura!
Oh, it's you, brother.
I heard that you've been skipping out on the archery club's morning practices lately. Why haven't you been showing up? And where do you get off taking a break without my say-so? You bit... I get it now. You've been going to their house again, haven't you?
Yes, I have been going there, but I just wanted to help and...
Let me guess. You felt you were obligated to, right? Jeez. Why must you be so damn naive? Wait a sec. What was that just now? Anyway, if someone gets hurt, just leave them to suffer. Just do what I tell you to, and things will be a-okay. I mean, it seems like people get some kind of perverse thrill from getting in my way. To force one of my dear little sister to miss valuable practice time.
That's not how it was at all. I wasn't forced to do anything. I wanted to help. Why is it so wrong to help those who need it?
Isn't it only fools and the weak who manage to get themselves hurt somehow? And why help anybody out? Will that person ever pay you back or help in return? Of course they won't! And if you think otherwise, you're an idiot! I won't be used by anyone! It's better to treat others as cattle. And isn't it time for you to admit to feeling the same way?
But for me, that option...
Stop right there! I don't care what you have to say! Stop going to that house, Sakura! Got it?
Jeez, that was brutal.
When I reached him, he was already talking to one of the servants.
To town.
Sir, I really don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Master Valdemar was very...
It's all right, James. Master Valdemar has given his permission for the two of them to leave the grounds.
Where did he come from? Wait, how did he... Is Eric really watching our every move? Ugh, creepy.
I'll see to it right away then, sir. Please follow me.
Huh? Where did the butler go?
Come along, Miss Archer. If you get too far behind, you might get lost.
Oh, right. I followed the Count and the young man through many corridors until we reached one of the underground parking bays. We got into the car and after a near silent drive arrived in town.
You're being very quiet.
Oh, I'm just thinking.
About?
Eric.
Oh? I hear he's very popular with the ladies, but doesn't date any of the women during the game. If you're looking for romance from him, you're out of luck.
What? No, that's not what I... Doesn't it bother you?
That women like him?
No, that he seems to know our every move. Does he have cameras everywhere? Does he watch us sleep? Or shower? If he does, I'm gonna find him and beat him up.
I don't think.
I may be small, but I pack a mean punch. I'll show him that you don't...
I'm not debating your physical abilities. I just don't think it's like that.
I looked back at the blackboard, and at that moment, I heard...
Found you.
A faint voice just next to my ear. Red letters had appeared on the blackboard. Ah! The teacher hadn't written them. I mean, they weren't her neat handwriting. They were round, girlish letters, not in chalk white, but a vibrant red, dripping from the edges like wet paint. I heard a clattering sound in my head. Oh, it's my teeth, and while the noise shook me, the words were rewritten. With no eraser in sight, they faded gradually and new words rose to take their place. Ah! I finally screamed and jolted hard enough for my seat to make noise.
Huh? Who was that? Tommy-san? What is it?
The teacher who'd been writing on the blackboard turned around and stared at me. I was already halfway out of my seat.
Did I get something wrong?
Sensei, that...
What is it?
The teacher turned back to the blackboard. She tilted her head as she looked at the area I was pointing at. She was looking, wasn't she? Couldn't she? Hadn't anyone else noticed?
Old man, stay where you are and hold your tongue.
Threaten me as you will, but I'll not give up the Manikati. The Manikati is a sacred blade, under divine protection. It cannot be removed from its place of rest.
You're a fool, old man. What good's a sword if you don't use it?
Use it in combat? Sacrilege!
Sacrilege? I am Glass. The gods fear my name. My swordplay is peerless. And if I want this sword, then this sword I shall have. Now, get out of my way.
No!
This is it. It's more magnificent than I'd imagined. This sword was made for a swordsman of my skill. Huh? What's this? I can't draw the sword from its scabbard?
The spirits of the blade have judged you. You have been found wanting. They have rejected you.
What? Listen, you senile old fool. If you value your own life, you'll get out of my sight! Curses! Miserable spirits! I care nothing for you. I'll tear this altar down, stone by stone!
So it's gotta be...
Okay, time's up.
What?
Time's up! The class trial is over! So there's no need to talk about anything else!
What the hell? We're out of time?
Hold on, what do you mean? That's not fair. We've never had a time limit.
I'll fix your tardiness, Kirigiri. Because of you, we are tight on time. With that said, you guys, it's ballot time. Please cast your ballot using the switch in front of you.
Ballot time.
What'll your verdict be? Who's tonight's villain? Will it be right? Or will it be also wrong?
Hold on! Wait!
What'll it be?
Huh? I'm the culprit?
Nix, I'm sorry, dude.
I'm sorry.
It's your fault anyway.
No, that's not right, guys. That's not right! I didn't do it!
You guys are absolutely correct!
Correct? That doesn't make any sense! That doesn't make sense! There's something wrong with this class trial, damn it!
There's nothing wrong with it! It's the same as always. Your same old everyday class trial. So as always, let's get cracking. It's time for another super exciting heart-pounding punishment.
Wait, why me? Gary.
I have no illusions of earning your forgiveness, because all of this is my fault.
Gary?
Let's get this ball rolling. It's punishment time!
I still can't believe Johnny just willed the house to Lily like that.
Who else was there to give it to? Us? A terrible place for burials, though. If there's a landslide, they'd be swimming with the fishes.
Still a little too soon.
Nah, it's never soon enough. Nice new ringtone.
Hello, Ava here. We're on our way.
New patient?
New patient.
Let's roll.
Super Duper High School Despair. The group that caused mankind's most despairingly maleficent and monstrous malefaction last year. The group that pitted us against each other in this academic coliseum and broadcasted it to the world. A hopelessly, helplessly, terrible group of people. And the identity of the Puppet Master. After all this time, we finally got our sights set on our true enemy. But first...
Let's get out of this awful place, shall we? We could talk once we've done that.
Yeah, I agree. It's locked, but there should be a way to open it now. Hey, Kirigiri, did you bring that key with you? That Monokuma's secret gadget thing that you stole from the headmaster's office?
Of course I have it. This key is vital in our trapping the Puppet Master. I wouldn't let it out of my sight.
You said it can unlock any door in the academy, right?
Yes, it can.
Then it should work on that door over there, too. Hey, Kirigiri, shouldn't that key be able to open this door, too?
It's worth a shot.
She slowly slid the Monokuma branded key into the door's keyhole. Turned it, and... Yes, it opened!
We should be able to get out of here now. Let's go.
Let's. Opening the one sealed door, Kirigiri and I left the dump behind. Finally! I was finally out. But I didn't have time for a sigh of relief. After all, the true battle was still to come.
Is that not the winning team? Yes, that is the winning team! Still thinking, Yunane?
Yeah, a bit. It's not really important, though. Somebody asked me to do something a little troublesome, so I'm trying to decide if I should help or not.
Really? Why don't you just do it? You should just do it instead of thinking about it.
That's just like you, Hina.
No, it's like you, Yunane.
Huh?
You always used to just do it, Yunane. Like in middle school.
Did I?
Yeah.
Is that how it used to be? Did I used to just do it instead of worrying?
You should just do what you want to do, Yunane.
You think so? What I want to do, huh? What do I want to do? Their request? That first year's face? The feeling I got after I shouted? They swirled around inside my head, on and on.
You're not the only one who's worked in a few restaurants.
You did too? Where?
Nowhere nearly as prestigious, and I can honestly say none of them had anything this good. You'd make a good husband.
You'll make a good wife too.
Thanks. I pick up a flask of tea and take a sip while looking over the beautiful courtyard. I'm going to be sad when this getaway is over. For all those strange tasks, I've really started to like it here.
Me too.
Must be the gorgeous food.
Yeah, that's it.
Did she say where to put it?
No, I don't think so.
Let's put it in the corner then. There's room for it on that shelf. Why don't you leave it there?
Okay. I stepped into the room with some energy, excited to finally complete the task I'd been entrusted with, and that I'd figured out where the reference room actually was. The space Senpai had indicated was at about chest height. I took careful steps over there, making sure to keep the box clear of any obstacles. There we go. I hoisted the box to my chest and shoved it onto the shelf. And that's that. When I turned around, Ihata-senpai was looking at me as if she were a little surprised.
You really are stronger than you look, Maki-san. I was worried it was a little heavy, but you lifted it before I could offer any help.
Oh, I'm confident in my strength. According to my dad and brothers, it's charming that I'm strong at my size. Though I'm not sure if I should be happy about that. Thank you so much, Ihata-senpai.
You're welcome. Oh, wait a moment, Maki-san.
Ihata-senpai stopped me before I could leave the reference room.
There's dust all over your left arm. You must have brushed past something.
Huh? Oh, you're right. Now that she mentioned it, I noticed a light coating of dust on the left sleeve of my blouse, and some even scattered on the hem of my vest. It looked like I brushed something, just like Ihata-senpai had said. Man, that's embarrassing. I hurriedly tried to pat the dust off. But senpai gently brushed my hand away.
I meander through the day's events, none of which are particularly engrossing.
That's when I'm distracted by an arm finding its way across my waist. It seems that Emmy fell asleep while I was talking, so I draw her blanket to cover us. She's rolled over onto her side, and now one leg is thrown over my legs, effectively trapping me. Hey. It seems a shame to wake her, but I have things to do. I gently shake her, but in response, she only tightens her arm's grip around me and sighs a little. And my resistance to this position crumbles rather quickly. The feeling of her body breathing steadily is both calming and incredibly stimulating at the same time. My breathing can't decide if it wants to relax or speed up. Relaxation wins, and I find myself putting an arm around Emmy. I think I'm in love. The words slip out and hang in the air unnoticed. At least I hope they've gone unnoticed. Emmy whimpers weakly through her dream, and her grip suddenly tightens again. For the first time since I've known her, I see tears running down Emmy's face. It feels like my heart is about to break. I instinctively tighten my own grip and stroke her hair in what I hope is a soothing manner. Words of comfort, meaningless in this situation, spring to mind. Maybe I should wake her. Are you supposed to wake people having nightmares? I can't for the life of me remember. The decision is taken from me as Emmy suddenly jerks awake with a cry. This is more than I think I want to hear without her knowing. I quickly sit upright and gently shake her shoulder to stir her. Hey, you okay? What a silly question.
What? Is that?
She shakes her head as if to clear it and quickly wipes her eyes.
Oh, I'm Inspector Lang. I have 100 officers, a really nice collarbone, and I'm going to arrest you for obstruction of justice. Chased out like a pair of peasants.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Kay.
There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is?
You really shouldn't steal anything. However, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal?
A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with. Ever.
That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer myself.
All right! And I'm going to work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go!
I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just going to drop the issue. The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Oh, thank God it's you.
Back.
Detective Gumshoe!
Mr. Edgeworth! The stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium!
A witness?
You! What did we tell you about leaving your side post? Ah, crap! It's the cops! Ah, the jig is up! Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir!
Let's go, big guy!
You have the right to remain silent. I know what I can do! I'm a cop!
Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves.
What's your deal? Now you're pilfering catchphrases from super detectives?
If Naegi really did kill her, then he wouldn't have come to you like this. He'd have gone into hiding, trembling under the weight of his sins, cowering in fear of his punishment. Rotting away in your precious despair. But we're here, standing up to you. We haven't lost hope.
You trying to say that counts in place of evidence? You think that's enough to satisfy me?
You're right, that wouldn't satisfy you. But it's the same for the people watching this. Executing Naegi now will not satisfy them.
What?
If you execute Naegi right now, this is what the people watching will think. They'll think you forcibly executed Naegi because everything we said was right. They'll think that hope cannot be killed with despair. If your stance is that what we're saying is baseless, then you'll just have to prove it, right? No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you execute Naegi while his guilt is still in question, then you are admitting defeat. If you want us to experience despair fairly and impartially, then you will accept my proposition. You must accept it.
So what is it? This proposition of yours?
That we retry Mukuru Ikusaba's murder case. And that, this time, you hold a fair class trial abiding by the school rules. Let this be our final battle. The final battle between hope and despair. Pretty fitting for a climax, don't you think?
Yeah, it's actually where I met my manager.
Well, that sounds like an interesting story.
It really isn't.
I find it very interesting. How did he find out you could sing? Were you singing to yourself while working or something? Did you serenade a customer? Were you in the men's...
My boss didn't care what I did on my breaks as long as I didn't disturb the guests, so I used to play the piano in the corner of the room. I loved that job because I'd never gotten to play on an actual grand piano before. There's just something about playing on one of those that makes it feel so different from playing on a keyboard.
Now I see it.
See what?
How someone as shy as you became a singer. You really love music to the point where you lose yourself in it. That's how you can sing in front of crowds, isn't it?
When I'm singing, it's like the whole world just melts away.
You know, Mira always watches those singing competitions and talks about how people are so passionate about their music and how they connect with it and the audience, but I always thought it was just words. Guess you proved me wrong.
Speaking of magic machines, I suddenly realized something important. I'm speaking to an MM representative, and he just so happens to be the son of Lord Godwin. MM and Lord Godwin give the most funding to research projects, especially those that might make money for MM. If I can convince this guy that my research can become the basis of MM's future projects, I may receive a research grant. If we can successfully build compassion magic machines, we'll be able to revolutionize the medical industry. Imagine this. Wounds that are easily treatable with a machine, medical equipment for hospitals, the whole experience of healthcare modernized. We might even be able to make medical equipment that can treat diseases rather than just ease pain. Now, time to go for the kill. In fact, it would be a huge benefit to MM's bottom line if they could get into the healthcare business. They might even speed things up by funding my research. I stop talking and wait for a reaction while observing Frederick's face. No reaction. Maybe I was being too obtuse. I mean, so I was thinking that if maybe we could talk about how my research could benefit MM in some way, that might be...
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Excellent! Now I can talk about getting research funding.
Well, good luck on your final year project. Talk to you later.
Wait, what? Wait. I stopped Frederick from walking away. Well, I was thinking, will you have time to talk more about this? I have lots of ideas I'd like to run by you. His eyebrows twitch. His lips are pressed tightly together.
I don't have the authority at MM to approve funds for research projects. I am only here because my father, Lord Godwin, wanted me to attend the symposium.
I see. Well, can you introduce me to someone who normally deals with research projects?
No.
He turns and walks away from me. Is there... He turns to me again, his eyes wide and lips pursed, like he just discovered a dog pooping on his front yard. But suddenly, he smiles. I feel that something is wrong here, but then again, everyone smiles differently.
Actually, there is somebody you could talk to regarding your research.
He puts his hand into his pocket and takes out a crumpled piece of paper.
Just go to that address.
I read the address on the paper. I don't recognize the street name. Oh, thank you very much. Who should I speak with when I get there?
Ask for You know what? Ask for Mrs. Beauvoir. Mrs. Beauvoir will be able to help you out.
Got it. Thank you very much, Frederick. His eyebrows twitch again. Did I pronounce his name wrong?
Don't mention it.
The thought had only just entered Junpei's mind when he heard a noise. A sound like a sharp knife cutting through wet meat. It struck him as strange that the noise came from inside his own body. A moment later, the pain hit him. It wasn't merely pain. There was heat. Extreme heat as well. He felt as though molten iron had been splashed against the side of his body. Finally, his brain made the connection. He had been stabbed. But where? His body was quickly going numb. He couldn't tell where the knife had met his flesh. Given the circumstances, however, he had most likely been stabbed in the back. Whoever had killed Lotus had now done the same to Junpei as well. His voice was little more than a weak groan. With what little strength he had left, Junpei turned his body, trying to catch a glimpse of his attacker. But as he did, the knife dug itself in deeper, twisting viciously. He collapsed to the floor, a puppet with its strings cut. His arms and legs lay where they fell, oddly twisted and awkwardly positioned. Junpei's body was entirely numb. He could feel the blood leaking out of him, but nothing would move. Nothing, save his eyes. As he lay on the floor, his life ebbing away, Junpei finally saw his attacker. Two tiny images of the killer, reflected in his eyes. With that recognition came nothing. He felt no emotions, not anger, not sadness, not regret. The paralysis that had claimed his body had reached his mind. His killer glanced down at his body. Then, without a word, climbed into the elevator and was gone.
Excuse me, but you are... Huh?
Hot damn! What a fine hunk of man! Oh, stop it, Lauren! You can't let yourself fall for a playboy like him! You're in love with...
Sounds like someone doesn't know the meaning of the phrase inner monologue, huh?
Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but might you be a friend of Lance?
Yes, I'm Lance's girlfriend. My name is Lauren Pops.
His girlfriend?
Oh, it's not like that. We're more like friends. And, we're not lovers or anything. We haven't gotten that far yet. But I guess that's how people are going to see it, so I should just accept it. I even got this ring as a present from Lance.
You know what she reminds me of? An anime character!
Oh my. Emmy giggles again and moves to sit up a little straighter. I'm caught up in the movements of her shirt, very nearly losing myself.
I was wondering what your reaction would be. The nurse called and told me you were going to drop by, you see. And I know you haven't seen me. Well, you know, without legs.
I respond in a tone of casual surprise. Oh, you don't have them on? I didn't notice. This is almost the truth. I very nearly didn't. I'm not trying to be suave or anything, mind you. Somehow I think Emmy would get offended by that. Instead, she sticks her tongue out at me and chucks a pillow at my head.
Ass.
I deftly catch the pillow and take careful aim before throwing. Emmy laughs and rolls to one side, dodging my shot, the shifting of her shirt distracting me enough so that the next thrown pillow hits me right between the eyes. Ugh. I retaliate, of course. And once I've retaliated twice, well, a war was bound to break out sooner or later. And really, when Emmy appears to have far better aim than me, well, it was just a matter of time before I'd have to resort to a suicidal charge. Gotcha! And once the charge was accomplished, well, of course, I'd have to wrestle the pillows away from her. And with that kind of struggle, of course, we'd wind up in this sort of position. And so I find myself staring down at her from my position atop her. She's grinning, eyes sparkling with amusement, maybe a little sweaty now from our tussle. Her chest is heaving up and down, sucking in air. The small bit of my brain that's not currently enraptured by the sight and smell of her observes that she must still be ill, because her stamina's not what it should be. We stay that way for a while. I'm not sure how long, because everything seems to go fuzzy. Everything that isn't her, anyway.
Wait a minute. What were you doing?
As you could see, I was experimenting.
He swirls his tea in my direction to remind me.
And I am happy to report that the experiment was a success.
Well, I wouldn't call it an experiment. All you did was make tea.
Wrong, Franz. What I did was try out a novel way of making tea.
Why? We already know how to make tea.
Ho ho ho! Let me give you a life lesson.
He takes another sip.
Here's a secret to make your life infinitely more exciting. Whenever you find yourself about to ask why, stop and instead ask, why not? Suppose someone said to you, let's make a carriage that doesn't only fly, but also spins in the air. Your first instinct might be to ask, why? Because you know that flying straight should be easier and more efficient. But that is not a reason not to make a spinning carriage. It is merely a reason to make a carriage that flies straight. No one will stop you if you want to build a spinning carriage, because why not? The day we stop asking why not will be the day we stop innovating, which may also be the day we stop advancing as a civilization. The breadth of human knowledge is an accumulation of acting upon the why nots.
Huh. Professor Poe calmly drinks his tea again. How do you make a spinning carriage?
Oh, I'll show you someday.
I'm not sure I want to know. I think I'd get nauseous.
And who should fly through the door but our homeroom teacher, Miss Fujimura.
I made it! Good morning, everyone!
And Miss Fujimura trips, falling painfully onto the floor. As she lands, her head strikes the corner of the platform at the front of the classroom. The classroom goes dead silent. Every student's attention is focused on the same thing.
Again? How does she manage to trip in the same place every time?
Listen, you. This isn't the time to be making stupid jokes.
You're right. She isn't moving. Did she get knocked out or something?
A few brave students get out of their seats and crowd around the still comatose Fujimura.
Hey! Miss Fujimura!
Miss Fujimura, are you okay?
Huh? What's wrong, everyone? Hey, class is about to start, so get back to your seats, pronto!
Miss Fujimura jumps to her feet as if nothing had happened. It's almost as if the memory of her sudden and violent trip to the floor was totally erased. As this happens all the time, no one seems to notice or care enough to say anything. No one gives a thought to how odd it is for this to happen every single day.
Aretha and I stop walking when we reach the north building's entrance.
So, are you going to the conference hall now?
I'll look for Professor Poe before that.
Okay, good luck on your presentation.
Yeah.
Not feeling confident?
Well, to be honest, no, not really.
Relax, Franz. I'll teach you a little magic charm. Whenever you get nervous, say my name 3 times in your heart. It will make the nervousness go away.
Yeah, I'm sure saying your name will chase away my nervousness, only to be replaced by a paralyzing fear so that I can't even speak or move, is that right?
Oh yeah, you'll say my name and you'll stiffen right up. You won't be able to help yourself.
See you tomorrow, Aretha. Well, when she's right, she's right.
See you, Franz.
Testimony time! Oh yeah! Let's do this.
Let's do this indeed, Kay.
Yes, he's seen a lot of bodies, but he was shot in a single glance.
Kay, exactly what are you doing?
Out. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, you're not supposed to present that quite
Well,
yet.
yes, I'm quite aware of that, but you're sort of distracting me.
Findings, whatever, and just keep looking through
Dear
the
God, it's like Miley Cyrus by the way of Igor Stravinsky.
Oh yeah, we're looking safe to one slot. Oh
Hold it!
Oh, Yuna, welcome back.
Ano Fuji called out to me as I entered the classroom and headed back to my seat. She's a friend I made after starting school here, and not counting Hina, one of the few I can be myself with. Ano always greets me when I return to class. She's friendly, but not so friendly that she pesters me about eating alone. She has some bad habits, but I find them a little endearing, actually.
You took your time today, huh? Were you napping?
Yeah, I might have. Yeah, that's right. I must have dozed off and had a weird dream.
Whoa, Yuna! You're like sweating buckets. Were you rushing to get back? There's still a bit of time, you know. Wait, what's wrong? You're white as a sheet, Yuna.
Uh-huh. White as a sheet? Am I? Noticeably?
Did something happen up on the roof?
Huh? Oh no. Should I do? Should I tell her I had a weird dream? I dozed off and dreamed that I met some ghosts. But she might be creeped out if I said that. I might prefer it if both of us could be creeped out together, though. No, Ano might just laugh it off. She's carefree like that. I just had a bit of a weird... But before I could say dream, the bell signaling the beginning of afternoon classes rang. The bell? Already? When did that happen?
The sky is black now. The moon and the stars aren't visible from where I'm standing. There is only blackness. Strange enough, there is a certain grandness one can feel from the pure blackness. It looks majestic. The dark sky reminds me how late it is. It's time I went home. Just as I turn away to leave, however, my eyes fall on an angel. A very lovely girl strolls through this unseemly street, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. She smiles with an ease that makes her seem brighter than all the lights in Maison. Her delicate hand plays lightly with the small braid of hair running behind her ear. Is this girl also a worker at Maison? Isn't she a little young? Besides, she isn't dressed like a harlot. But there are no other reasons for a young girl to visit a place like this. Maybe she is just passing through? I keep watching the little angel, how she steps, how her arms swing so carefree, How her hair flutters as she walks. How her face glitters with an easy happiness even in this slum. She's beautiful. No, it's more than that. I've beheld beauty itself. Finally, she stops right at Mason's door. Without knocking, she takes the door's handle, pushes the door open, and steps inside.
Hello, I'm John.
Oh, I almost thought she wasn't.
What the fuck, Eva? But you deleted her.
No, I told you, I just moved her. What she does with her life here is still up to her. But this new world, it's based on public data and Johnny's own beliefs. And since River's data as an individual is not recorded in the public domain,
it all comes from Johnny. But even then, that merely increases the odds. How were you sure that it'd work?
I wasn't.
It could have gone very badly, you know.
You were never one to take risks, Neil. Let's just say I won this round. We still have the 2 spare helmets, right? I think Johnny'd appreciate some company.